Welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the lush world of Flora, but beware, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm here to guide you through a botanical minefield as we explore Don't Get Sapwrecked. 15 plants that'll sting, burn, and blind you, seriously. From poisonous to downright deadly, we'll uncover the secrets of toxic plants you should never lay a finger on. Stick around to discover the beauty, mystery, and danger that lurk in unexpected places. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about common plants because, trust me, there's more to them than meets the eye. Number 15. Oleander. Oleander is a plant that probably started in warm places near the Mediterranean Sea, but now you can find it all over the world because people like its pretty flowers for gardens. It can grow pretty tall, like 20 feet, which is about 6 meters. Oleander can be like a bush or a small tree, and it's tough and can survive without a lot of water. The flowers of oleander can be white, pink, or red, and they bloom a lot, especially in the summer. Even though the plant looks nice, be careful not to touch the sap because it can give you a rash and hurt a lot if it gets in your eyes. Don't eat any part of it either, because oleander makes chemicals that can be really bad for your heart, digestion, and brain. Luckily, it tastes really bitter, so it's hard to eat enough to get sick. But if you do, you might throw up a lot, sweat a ton, drool, and have a weird heartbeat. In really bad cases, it could even be deadly. So, it's better to enjoy oleander from a distance. Number 14. Water hemlock. Water hemlock is a kind of plant that grows in North America and Europe. It usually lives in wet places like marshes, meadows, and riverbanks. These plants can get pretty tall, over 8 feet or 2.5 meters. You can recognize them by their small flowers, which can be green or white and grow in an umbrella shape. The tricky thing about water hemlock is that it looks a lot like other plants that are safe to eat. But here's the catch. It's one of the most poisonous plants in the areas where it naturally grows. The danger comes from a toxin called cytotoxin, which messes with certain chemicals in the brain that are important for our nervous system. If you accidentally eat water hemlock, within an hour, you'll start feeling really sick. You might have nausea, throw up a lot, and get intense stomach pain. In rare cases, it can lead to shaking, seizures, and difficulty breathing, which can be fatal if you don't get medical help quickly. The good news is that if you get the right treatment in time, using things like certain medications and a machine to help you breathe, you can survive. But the best thing is to avoid eating it altogether to stay safe. Number 13. Brugmansia. Brugmansia, also known as angel's trumpets, is a type of plant with big flowers. There are 7 kinds of these plants, and they originally come from South America. People like to grow them for decoration, but in the wild, they are almost extinct. The only ones left are the ones people grow. These plants can grow really tall, up to 36 feet or 11 meters. The flowers look like trumpets and can be up to 20 inches or 50 centimeters long. They come in different colors like yellow, pink, and orange. However, be careful with them because they are poisonous. The whole plant is toxic, especially the seeds and leaves. It's not safe to eat them. Some animals used to spread the plant's seeds, but those animals are now extinct. That's why people have to grow these plants themselves. If you eat even a little bit of the plant, you might get sick. The symptoms can include confusion, dry mouth, shaking, headaches, and muscle paralysis. If you eat a lot, you could see things that aren't there, have problems with your eyes, and even die. In some places, like Florida, it's against the law to grow these plants because they are so dangerous. If you ever see one, it's better to look at the pretty flowers from far away. Number 12. Rosary Pea. The rosary pea is a plant that climbs on things and is from Asia and Australia. But now, because it spreads a lot, you can find it in tropical places all over the world. People have used its seeds to make jewelry, musical instruments, and other pretty things for a long time. But these seeds are dangerous if you touch them or eat them. Just one seed can be enough to kill a healthy adult because it has a strong poison called abrin, which is even more powerful than ricin. Abrin messes up how cells work and stops them from doing basic things they need to do, so your body stops working properly. If you eat, breathe in the dust, or rub a broken seed on a scratch on your skin, abrin can get into your body. After a few hours or a day, you'll start feeling sick, throwing up, having weird pains in your mouth, and stomach cramps. Then, you'll cough up blood, feel really tired, not be able to think clearly, and be super thirsty. Your organs might start failing, and your circulation could collapse, which usually leads to death. There's no cure for abrin poisoning, and treatments only try to help your body get rid of it, but it's not guaranteed to work. So, it's better not to take any risks with it at all. Number 11. Manchal Tree. This tree may seem like it gives small apples, but it's not safe to eat them. The tree is called the Manchal, and it's found in North and South America. It's one of the most poisonous trees on Earth. The dangerous part is the sap, which has a lot of harmful substances. If the sap touches your skin, it can cause severe blisters. People often get hurt when it's raining because raindrops can carry a tiny bit of sap from the tree and land on their skin. Burning the tree is also risky. The smoke released can harm your eyes. Eating the fruits is a bad idea too. They might taste sweet at first, but they can make your mouth burn, your throat swell, and even lead to a deadly infection. It's not just humans who are affected. Most animals can get sick from these trees, except for some that evolved to handle the danger, like the black-spined iguana. In places where these trees grow, you'll often see signs telling you to stay away, or a big red X or stripes on the trunk to warn about the dangers. Number 10. Deadly Nightshade. One of the most famous dangerous plants in the world is deadly nightshade. It originally comes from Europe, Northern Africa, and Eastern Asia, but people have taken its seeds to other places, making it grow in America and Canada too. Deadly nightshade is closely related to tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplants. It can grow up to 7 feet or 2 meters tall, with purple bell-shaped flowers and green berries that turn black when they ripen. The berries taste sweet, and animals eat them, spreading the seeds. But for humans, it's a bad idea because deadly nightshade is one of the most poisonous plants. It contains harmful chemicals like atropine and hyoscine. Eating parts of this plant can cause various problems like blurry vision, light sensitivity, headaches, rashes, dry mouth, and loss of balance. In severe cases, it can lead to confusion, hallucinations, delirium, and convulsions. What makes it especially dangerous is that it affects the central nervous system, which can stop the body from controlling essential functions like breathing or the heart beating, leading to fatal outcomes. Number 9. Jimsonweed. Jimsonweed is a type of plant that is closely related to a dangerous plant called deadly nightshade. It likely started in Central America and has spread all over the world. This plant can grow in many warm places and is hard to get rid of once it starts growing. It usually reaches about 5 feet tall and has trumpet-shaped flowers that can be purple or cream-colored. The plant produces spiny seed capsules that look like those of a horse chestnut tree. The whole plant is toxic because of certain chemicals it contains. These chemicals can be harmful and even deadly. Surprisingly, some people intentionally consume Jimsonweed, either by making tea with it or by smoking it, to experience its side effects. People seek the hallucinations it can cause, thinking it might trigger visions. However, using Jimsonweed can lead to confusion and, in some cases, death if taken in large amounts. While it's not considered a common recreational drug, there are instances each year where inexperienced users end up in the hospital after trying to have hallucinations with Jimsonweed and accidentally taking a deadly amount. Number 8. Gimpy Plant. The Gimpy plant is found in the rainforests of northeastern Australia. It's like a stinging nettle, but much stronger. The whole plant is covered in stinging hairs. These hairs contain powerful toxins. If an animal or a person touches the plant, the hairs can break off, puncture the skin, and inject the toxins. If this happens to you, the next few days or even years can be very uncomfortable. When you touch the plant, small red spots will appear on your skin. They might join together to form a big swollen area. It will hurt a lot, and the pain can last for a few hours or even days before getting better. What's really bad is that even when the pain goes away, it might come back months or years later. All it takes is something triggering your skin, like touching, getting wet, or feeling a sudden change in temperature. If you accidentally breathe in the plant's hairs, it can cause bleeding in your breathing passages, difficulty breathing, and a strong stinging feeling when you eat or drink. It's a pretty nasty plant. Number 7. White snakeroot. White snakeroot is a kind of plant that grows in parts of North America. It may not look special, but it's really dangerous. You can find it in the eastern and central parts of North America. It has groups of white flowers and fluffy seeds. The whole plant can be about 5 feet tall and usually grows in wooded areas, blooming fully in late summer. The danger comes from a toxin it produces called tremetol. If people or animals eat it, especially through contaminated milk, it can be deadly. Tremetol affects the nervous system, making the whole body shake. If someone shows these symptoms, they need medical help right away, or it could lead to death. The toxin got its name because if cows eat the plant, the poison can get into their milk. This has caused the death of some well-known people in history, like Abraham Lincoln's mother. Nowadays, we make sure to treat milk properly before selling it, so very few people get sick from white snakeroot. Interestingly, in small amounts, the tremetol toxin has been found to be useful in treating certain snake bites and kidney stones. Number 6. Giant hogweed. Giant hogweed is a big plant that originally came from Europe and Asia, but now it's found all over the world because people brought it to new places as a decorative plant. It's a troublesome weed that can cause a lot of pain if you touch it. Each plant can grow really tall, up to 18 feet, and the leaves can be very big, up to 5 feet across. At the top, it has white umbrella-shaped flowers. The dangerous part is the sap, which is a liquid inside the plant. If it touches your skin, it can make you get blisters and rashes. It's not because your body is allergic to it, but because the sap reacts with sunlight and makes your skin super sensitive. This means you can get really bad sunburn in just 15 minutes after touching it. People are trying hard to get rid of giant hogweed, especially in the US. It's considered a harmful weed, and it's not allowed to be brought into the country or moved between states. Number 5. Monkweed. There are more than 250 types of plants called monkshood. They have different names like blue rocket, devil's helmet, and wolfsbane. These plants mostly live in the mountains in Asia, Europe, and North America. They have dark green leaves and beautiful round flowers that can be white, yellow, red, blue, or purple. Each type of plant has its own special features, but almost all of them have something dangerous in common. They contain a harmful substance called a toxin called aconitine. This toxin messes up the cell membranes in muscles and nerves, making them not work properly. Eating monkshood is very risky. If you eat a lot, you can get very sick, and it can even be deadly. The signs of poisoning can show up a few hours after eating it. First, you might feel sick to your stomach, throw up, and have diarrhea. Then, your mouth and face might feel like they're burning, and you might not be able to feel them. You could die very quickly, or it might take a few hours. There's no real cure for this poisoning. If you get medical help fast enough, they can try to help your body get rid of the toxins, but it's hard to undo the damage once it's done. Number 4. Castor Bean. Castor beans come from a plant that originally lived in places like the Mediterranean, India, and Eastern Africa. But now, people grow it all over the world because it's useful. You can press the beans to make castor oil, which is used in making things like soap, paint, plastic, perfume, and brake fluid. The oil is safe to use, but you have to be careful with the raw beans because they contain a poison called ricin. This plant is the most poisonous common plant in the world. Just 4 of its seeds have enough poison to be deadly. If someone eats enough ricin, symptoms like a burning feeling in the mouth, stomach pains, vomiting, extreme thirst, and low blood pressure can show up within a few hours. If not treated, it can lead to death. The good news is that it's not common for people to die from eating castor beans because ricin poisoning can be treated. However, it's more of a concern for kids who might pick the beans and eat them when no one is watching. So, it's important to keep an eye on them. Number 3. Larkspur. Larkspur is a kind of plant with about 40 different types. Another name for it is consolida, and it's also called delphinium in Greek, which means dolphin. They got this name because their flowers look like dolphins. Larkspurs grow in many places around the world, but they usually get bigger in higher places. People like them because they have colourful flowers and use them as decoration. However, all parts of the plant, like the roots, stem, leaves, and flowers, are harmful if eaten. Eating a lot of larkspur can cause problems like skin rashes and bad stomach feelings. The plant has things called diterpenoid alkaloids that can mess up how our heart and brain work. If someone eats too much, they might feel very confused or even have a heart failure. It's not just people who can get sick from larkspur. Other animals, like cows, can too. This is a big problem for farmers because larkspur poisoning is one of the main reasons cows get sick. Because of this, farmers often wait until late summer to move their cows to areas where larkspur grows, so there's less risk of them getting poisoned. Number 2. Yew tree. The yew tree is a plant that grows in Europe, Asia, and Africa. People like to use it for decoration. Some of these trees are really old, maybe even 2,000 years old. They can be as tall as 65 feet or 20 meters. Yew trees have dark green leaves and red berries around the seed cones. Even though these trees are common, they can be dangerous. The whole tree, except for the red part of the berries, has substances called taxine alkaloids that are poisonous. If someone or an animal eats these, it can be really bad. It might lead to problems with the heart or breathing, and if not treated, it can be deadly. Even a small amount can make a person or an animal very sick. These trees have been known to harm domestic animals and wild animals. They can be a common reason for animals to die suddenly. Since there's no clear sign that the tree is dangerous, it's best to just stay away from them to be safe. Number 1. White Banberry. White Banberry, also known as doll's eyes, is a plant that comes from North America. These strange plants usually grow to about 1.6 feet or 50 centimeters tall. They have unusual white fruits on red stems that look like eyes. If you find these plants in the wild and the berries have ripened, you might see birds eating them. However, just because animals can eat them doesn't mean they're safe for humans. These berries are actually very dangerous for people. They have strong toxins that affect the heart. These toxins can make the heartbeat slower or weaker, causing a feeling of sickness. The body's cells also don't get enough oxygen, which can be very bad. In severe cases, the heart might stop working for a while, leading to a heart attack and likely death. So, it's important to be careful and not eat these berries. If you're interested in nature videos, you can check out our playlist for more interesting videos about beautiful nature. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy watching all our best nature videos.